Are social skills really that important? It's not because they're polite, nor because they make you look good. Instead, their importance comes from shaping something crucial in every connection. Whether you feel safe with others, and whether they feel safe with you. Since true connection is not just about being around another person and knowing everything about them, there is more importance when it comes to regarding all parties' capacity. Nervous system capacity, to be exact, which determines how present, aware, and steady an individual is, thus showing how ready they are for building healthy, sustainable relationships. This capacity shows up in 3 ways. Mentally, can you keep everyone's best interest in mind? Emotionally, can you meet others with empathy, even when it's uncomfortable? And physically, do you actually show up? Because before we build healthy relationships, we must understand something big important. Connection does not equal capacity. And without that healthy foundation of capacity, even the deepest of bonds can collapse. That is why in this video, we're going to break down how to choose, build, and maintain healthy connections that support safety and growth. A guide incorporating and explaining the multiple structure points of any relationship. By starting with the linear progression of a relationship, we'll assess how to appropriately handle every stage. First talking on the early stages of getting to know someone, before moving on to a trial period and eventually commitment. Today builds directly off the regulation work from our last video, where we built personal sovereignty. This is a necessary component to building our own capacity, as it provides a healthy tolerance for uncomfortability, while gaining conflict resolution skills, all of which affect how your nervous system can handle and process growth in the future. With that, let's get straight into it. When you're browsing for a potential connection, you are to first get clear on your intentions. What role do you want them to fill? How intimate do you want it to become? By knowing what you want, you won't go looking for your lover at the bar, nor your business partner at a casino. This will also then allow you to communicate your intentions clearly and honestly when the time comes. Once you know what you're looking for, you can screen your potential individual for capacity, an assessment on their ability to handle real life. This matters before you talk personal values. To spot their capacity for basic survival, I created 2 lists of red and green flags. Let's start with the red flags, the absence of capacity. Here we have high reactivity and impulsiveness, inconsistent communication and action, desperate and obsessive indulgences, blaming others instead of taking responsibility, avoids vulnerability, escapes using distractions and/or addictions, struggles with boundaries, their own and other people's, lacks empathy, often taking more than they give, emotionally dysregulated, led and controlled by their emotions, and lastly, avoids depth, keeping things superficial. With the red flags clarified, we can look at the other side to this coin. Green flags that show healthy capacity, which look like active listening and staying present, thoughtful, kind, and follow through in action, self-fulfilled and secure, communicates clearly and empathetically, self-aware and emotionally intelligent, takes responsibility for their mistakes, sets and respects healthy boundaries, growth-focused, open to feedback, pauses before reacting, and finally, emotionally regulated, aware of feelings but not controlled by them. Both of these lists reveal one's capacity to manage their inner world. When each person manages themselves, the connection can actually work. So let's pause here. Where do you see yourself in these lists? Do you have more red or green flags? Honestly. If you have more red flags showing up for you, your first job is to build personal capacity. Check out my video on regulation if that's the case. But if you're a walking green flag along with your potential person, you can next assess compatibility. This means checking if your values, beliefs, and goals align beyond basic survival and nervous system capacity. This is a step you'll repeat as you grow closer, but early alignment saves you time. You see, checking compatibility is so vital because it shows what being together creates. Whether it's distress, restriction, and pressure to change who either of you are, or support, freedom, and growth. There is a distinct difference between draining connections and ones that actually work. Understanding this, we test compatibility in the trial period through steady, consistent investments. Here you are to expect much open communication about expectations, wants, and needs of all involved. Through this, you will decide if they fit in your life and where so. Mind you, it's not always where you expect. Now, it is through this practice you build trust by learning each other and showing reliability at a pace that feels safe for you both. This specifically creates the sturdy foundation commitment requires, a combination of time, consistency, and curiosity from all parties to form a secure base of safety. Hopefully, you can see how this mutual safety was created by learning and committing to keeping one another safe. Not committing to keeping them around, but committed to keeping them safe. That said, even the perfect foundations fail without healthy attachment. Much like how it matters what material you build your house on, there is a large difference between sturdy ground versus sand that will collapse in on itself. The same goes with our attachment, determining how sturdy we and the connection can be. Yes, if you guessed, this is also a type of capacity which will inevitably end up affecting your connections. Determined by your mental and emotional reasoning, why you attach will show you this level of capacity and level of stability available. Does attachment feel like a choice or something you're at the mercy of? Is it out of freedom or desperation? Some people can't receive love no matter how much you give, and that is purely because of their own lack of nervous system capacity. They quite literally cannot process the information, rendering the input and love useless. That is why connection will not ever equal capacity, and no amount of love can make up for its lack. That is why connection and capacity are two individual but essential factors for any healthy relationship. With that said, once you've developed a deep understanding of one another, including level of safety, you're ready to move out of the trial period and begin to face the idea of commitment. Up until this point, you have solely dedicated your actions to preserving self-connection. There was no commitment in needing them or having to keep the other party around. But when you identify someone to be a compatible and positive addition to your life, it's natural to want to build something long-lasting. How is this done? Dedication. Specifically, dedicating to each other's best interests, ensuring mutual growth and safety together. Much like in the trial period, we talked about the commitment to keeping ourselves and the other party safe. What distinguishes this commitment lies in the bigger picture. Here, we're not only committing to their safety, but we see how their presence alongside us is a benefit, and vice versa. Before, we were unsure if we were best to stick together, but now that we came to the conclusion that it is best together, we protect the connection by taking care of each other. To ensure mutual safety is a constant, here are 2 practices that allow growth with one another. First, natural maintenance through consistently showing up and being present, something that should be occurring anyways. And secondly, clear, honest check-ins about what is and is not working. Sometimes check-ins reveal deeper wounds of unsafety and a lack of security. You'll want to mend anything that is separating you both from optimal order. In those cases, here's how you repair. Name the issue directly. What needs are not being met? Own your part completely. How did you contribute? And finally, reset with clear upcoming action. What restores balance? All parties are equally responsible for doing the same 3 steps with you, because mutual repair is required to create lasting connection. So if they do not follow through, showing capacity or compatibility gaps, you are left with 2 choices to maintain optimal health and security. 1, choose distance. Move them to a less central role in your life. Or 2, remove them completely, protecting your best interests. It takes all parties to build, only one to destroy. This is something to remember at every stage of any connection, whether you're trialing, browsing, or already committed. That way, you always know what is best for you and all involved. So, if you're struggling with red flags in your life, watch my regulation video found in the description. And for those of you ready for a life of green flags, I offer one-on-one coaching to uncover any remaining blind spots with custom plans. Email me, lunashealinglounge@gmail.com, also found in the description. To a life of elite connections and prosperous time, cheers, have a good one.